They don't they laugh already. Who don't watch Boys Before Flower? Warrior Bike Don't Sue. My Girlfriend is a Nice Fox. Playful Kiss. All those movies. The Years. City Hunter. Now look at me very well. If I be actor for Korean movie, who I go be? Just look at me very well. No lies, oh. Am I paro? Who I go be now? Huh? Who's I go Jumpio? What is the real name of Gujumpio? Leave me. Oh, you guys are for me. What's happening now? This is the time to relax and have fun. Leave me. Oh, now I bet we get any keyboardists here. Keyboardists, able keyboardists. They are not available. Okay. Now imagine I am Limi O. Limi O won't enter scene. Like Limi O won't communicate to every one of us. This is what you see. One hand will be inside the pocket like this. Then you see something like this. Yes or yes? I know you can relate. Then you hear, 안녕하세요. 저는 리미호입니다. 저는 코스플렉스입니다. 감사합니다. 고맙습니다. 언니, 가지마. 나라 생각해 나나 보고 싶어. What is the meaning? I saw you shaking head now. Like, Momo. Honestly, I saw you. So can you translate that to English? I said, Honey. What is Honey in English? Okay, you are right. Please let me celebrate her. Okay. What is Sarange? I love you too. I love you too. What is Bogoshipio?
I miss you.
Oh my God! Please celebrate this, my sister. Awesome! Wow! Finally, K-drama addict. Are you? K-drama lover. Are you? You are one of them. You are one of them. And so honestly, Korean movie, very sweet soundtrack. Mary Paraso. She don't laugh again. Which soundtrack get that you don't know? What about Bogo Baso? Astrid, God bless you. You are going to move from glory to glory. God bless. High five. Strings, beautiful. What is they call king for Korean movie? Korean movie king. They want to call their king. You hear something like this? Am I right? Or you hear? Jonah. Maybe they want to complain about the what's it called? Something going on inside the village or something. You hear? Now the king will reply, what did they talk? I don't know. Even when they talk, I don't know. Unless you read subtitle. Sweet. But now make we come up Korean movie. Bollywood. How many of you don't watch Bahubali? There's this film called Bahubali. Ma, have you watched Bahubali? No, Solinti. She said no. Bahubali, they kill each other. Fight. War. Who killed Bahubali? Who killed Bahubali? Talk now. Katapa. God bless you. Katapa pa Bahubali. Such a painful death. Now I know they cry watching Bollywood again. I don't cry. Why should I cry? Olden days are passed away. Everything done. Indian movie, their English always on point. But what when they pay me pass now? How then they speak the English? You hear something like this? Papa, please, Papa. Lopria somo, Papa, please let me marry Priya, please, Papa. Jacket marry bell. Marakiti, Ratiputi, Redkiputki, Jariam, Suliam, Baliam, Papa, please, Papa. Lopriya, Sumo, Papa, please, let me Maripiya, please, Papa. Rodki Putki, Jarki Putki, Rodiam, Baliam, Suliam. Now the father will now reply, who is the father? After Bashan. He don't hold now, he don't get white beard. You hear this kind of voice? John Terekereho, Paterekereho, Nei! Nei lo ma gbe yoro aye won. Nei, what it be nei? No, solintin. No. After that scene, they will now migrate to music, dance. Will you marry me? No, solintin. Honestly, do you remember this soundtrack? Bollywood. Janeman, Janity de, Janitamana, Janle. What about I am too bad. I am. You will go see breeze go they blow. Too bad they can't be that. Honestly. Now, make we enter Tiwantiwa. What is Tiwantiwa? Nollywood. Now we call Nollywood, Nigerian movies, we call them Nollywood, isn't it? Indian movie, we call them what? Bollywood. What do they call Korean movie? Who said Currywood? Who said Currywood? I better leave our K-drama. Leave them. No shade jam. Leave them like that. Now look at me very well. If I be actor for Yoruba movie, who I go be? Just look at me very well. Look at me. Take a look at me. Take a look at me, I'm a wonder. It doesn't matter what you see now. Oh yeah, now. From this wing. Oh yeah. Give me name of an actor for Yoruba movie. Don't worry, I'll come down to your level. We get any Igbo here? Igbo Kwenu. They know they. Igbo no they abi. One Igbo. Okay, don't worry. Oh yeah, now give me name. Desmond Elliot. Sorry, that's Desmond Elliot. All right. Okay, let me just do this. This man, na Igbo actor. When you hear this kind of voice, who is this? Bachimo. You see, ladies and gentlemen, you need to place your focus very well, because if you don't place your focus, based on logistics and based on Bachimo, look at my woman. Hell, Isiana Twego. Who is that? Sam Loco Efe. May his gentle soul rest in perfect peace. Bachimo. Go does the whistle up and down. Now, Yoruba movie. When you hear this kind of voice, who is this? Very good. Eyi yo minilele kolajo le yoti. Eri suru. Sheri kolomba mi le rin kan mo fẹ́ sọ. Ọ̀rọ̀ àwọn àpàlà ni mo fẹ́ sọ. Àpàlà rí bi tó tutù. Orí búùlù. Orí àmùjọ òtútù. Ó bá sí ibẹ̀. Nígbà tí àmùyẹ bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí gbóná kí ló ṣe? Ó bẹ jáde. See that woman? Ó ló bẹ jáde. Now, another actor go enter. You hear this thing? Kò ní bàjẹ́ fún gbogbo yín o. Ara pápá báyìí là bẹ́tù. Ibi jìgọ̀lọ̀ báyìí là bẹ́wẹ́ ajílété. Mo ti ṣèrè bọ́mi pẹ̀lú ràpadà. Mo sì ti fọwọ́ wẹwọ́ pẹ̀lú àgbàlagbà. Tí ìwọ ò bá mọ Jésù, tètè lọ mọ̀ ń sìn torí Jésù lólùgbàlà. Who be that? Alapini Osha. Alapini get one friend too that they do babalawo for Yoruba movie. That one self go switch. Ẹlẹ́wọ̀n yín tèmi kò ní bàjẹ́ fún yẹn ní tuntun mọ̀ ẹ̀mọ́lẹ̀. Wo àyín lọ àyín bọ̀ lọ́wọ́ yẹn ní iwájú lẹ́ mọ̀ lọ. Èyí ti ṣe kábíyèsí. Who be that? Lalude. Now call him out say Lalude song for the movie. Now this guy. Ìbàjẹ́ fún yẹn ní sórí boroko. Yígbé. Ewo bí òsìbó ṣe wù kó jẹ́. Òkè ni mímí o ṣe ń ṣí nídìí o. Samuel Alájọ o.
Sámú alájọ bóṣù bá parí mo fẹ́ gbowó mi.
My name is Odolade Adekola. Thank you so very much. I really do appreciate. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for having me. Coast of Lex is my name.
Okay, so can we also put our hands together again? It's not easy to make people laugh in Nigeria. Nigeria is hard. You see me, I just came here. I've been doing my MC job, JJ. I don't have strength to make anybody laugh because Nigeria is tough and it's dealing with every one of us. But thank God for Jesus. Okay, so we're moving on to the panel session. Hope you started putting down your question. Nobody came to meet me for hotspot, so I'm assuming we all have data. So we have the panel session now. I'll be welcoming all the people for the panel session. We have Mrs. Lolu Desalu, Mr. Tokwe Rushewe, and of course, Pastor. And we have Mr. Timileyin. We have Mr. Timileyin Shonibare, and we have Pastor Bukola. Jam your hands together. This is about to be powerful. See powerful people stepping here.
Are you doing the questions? Are you doing the questions? If someone needs to do the questions and give them the mic. Someone needs to coordinate it. Can you give them the second mic? Where the other mics?
Okay, so we're going to be taking the questions that we have here. The first question, excuse me, Ma, I'm assuming that is for you. You said there is no pride in your hustle, but if you are being disrespected at work, are you just meant to take it without saying anything? Seems like such a very personal question. Okay.
Yeah, sounds like a personal question, and I'm happy to take it. Are you supposed to just take it? 100%. That's what you're being paid for. So there are two sides to this. Yes, people are definitely going to disrespect you at work, whether you are senior or junior. So I don't know if the person that asked that question is a junior person or a senior person. I'm quite senior in my organization, and I still get disrespected quite regularly. And for the most part, I take it. And you know, I even tell my colleagues sometimes, I know you guys can be rude, I'll be taking it. However, there is a threshold, but that threshold doesn't mean be disrespectful back. I remember when I first started my my earlier session, and I said godly principles. Godly principles tells you, you know, an eye for an eye, you know, makes the world blind. So if someone is disrespectful to you, the answer is not to be disrespectful back. You can stand up for yourself without being disrespectful. You can call out disrespect without being disrespectful. So for instance, someone is rude to you, take a bit of time, say nothing for a little while, for the day. Don't be confrontational at that point in time, because you don't know why the person has acted the way they've acted. So leave it alone. You know, be patient, be a little bit humble, because nobody is above disrespect. And at a later time, maybe later on that day, call the person for a one-on-one session. If the person is junior to you or your colleague, and just say that, you know, I find that what you did was a little bit disrespectful towards me. I don't know what has caused you. I don't know if is there anything that I have done to make you feel that way towards me. And automatically you'll find that that person's, whatever was doing that person, you know, will just automatically drop. If you were at fault, or if the person feels you were at fault, the person will tell you. And if the person was misbehaving because they were in a mood before, you know, once you call them out, even they will feel bad, and they'll calm themselves. But let me give you very, very good advice, and I think that Mr. Tokwe spoke about it earlier. Don't rise to every issue that you have. You can't, I mean, if you're walking down the road and every dog is barking, are you going to stop to bark back at every dog? You can't do that. You're lowering yourself. And it's about emotional intelligence. People will be disrespectful. Even when you're the MD of a company, people will still be disrespectful. Inside your company and outside your company. Even people that work under you will be disrespectful. You can't stop to bark at every dog that barks at you. However, if the person that's been disrespectful to you is very key to your role, like your line manager who you work with every day, or a colleague that you're very close to and you work with every day, take some time to calm down and then approach the situation when everybody's calm at another time when it's just you and the person. If the person is older than you or the person is more senior to you, approach the matter with respect, no matter how you feel. No matter how you feel. Remember, godly principles.
Thank you very much. Do we want to add anything else to what she said? Or we're good?
I think that's it. Long suffering is one of the fruits of the Spirit. Practically, if it's become too hot for you, the disrespect is bordering on abuse, then you should already be charting your way to move to a new organization. But like Lolu said, like the speaker said, you will face disrespect everywhere. And as Pastor Tokwe said, you have to know how to be emotionally intelligent to, navigate your way through those scenarios.
Can I just add, I want to add a personal experience. So when I first moved back to Nigeria, my first job, for some reason I felt like I was disliked by a number of people. It bothered me a little bit, but not as much as my own line manager. My line manager was a man and just did not like me. I felt like he felt like I was just there and I didn't really, like, what does she know? Where is she coming from? She's coming from England. What does she know? And I almost felt bullied. It became a prayer point. So use God. Use whatever power you're using. I know this is not a church session, but whatever power it is you have, which is God, with the God power, use it. It was a prayer point, and he left. Thank God. So.
Okay. So the next question, I think is still related, is how do you strike the line between emotional intelligence and when you need to defend your dignity?
This is more or less the same question. So people will try it with you many times, and more often than not, the way you respond, you can either respond or react, and there are two different things. If you react, you're most likely going to create a toxic situation. You don't want that. But response means you calm down first. Because if you are giving it fire for fire, it's likely to go down very quickly. So you calm down, think through the situation, and come up with a response. Now, how do you draw the line between emotional intelligence and what was the other thing? And defending your dignity. So, being emotionally intelligent doesn't mean that you're stupid. It just means that you approach things in an emotionally intelligent way. So you calm down, think about it, and then calmly come up with a response that shows that you will not stand for disrespect. Now that does not mean that you shout, scream. No. It could be an email. You could report to HR, depending on the organization that you're working in. You could calmly, if the person is your line manager and has a boss, you could report the situation to your boss, to his boss or her boss. There are many ways to approach it, but whatever it is, make sure you have carefully thought about it, because every action would have, possible repercussions. So you could think that, okay, if I report to his boss, it's going to become worse. Then it must be a situation that you're ready to deal with. So, first of all, my default is to calm down. I never react to a hot situation with giving, naturally people want to say, if he gives you gas, give him bows. No, it doesn't work like that. That's not the best way. Calm the situation down, give a very deliberate, thoughtful response. And then, of course, if the situation doesn't improve, if it starts becoming abuse or whatever, you report, get out of this. One thing that works all the time is to get out of that space if you can. Maybe it's a physical space, go somewhere so that it doesn't become something that goes downhill very quickly. But all of that is still emotional intelligence.
Thank you. Do we want to add anything else?
So I think I would also add that, this happens with a lot of Gen Zs. In the workplace, most of us are, I don't know if I'm Gen Z, but most young folks are always, in the line of trying to be defensive. So when your manager or somebody sends you an email that you don't like, you just look at this email and say, you're just paying me salary, you're not the owner of my life. So we need to calm down. There are times where you are really peppered. The manager has gotten to that height and you're like, nah, you don't own me. Maybe the manager said some very disrespectful words. So for me, what I've learned is don't respond immediately. For example, if it's an email, take your time. Think through 1 hour, 2 hours. There are some emails that you send. They are very well composed emails. But when the person that has disrespected you see it, the person would think about his life. There is no iota of one word in that email that is disrespectful. So you are respectfully telling that person in a very respectful manner that the person has crossed the line. But it would not show in that email. You are sending the email respectfully. So we need to understand that, in the workplace, they are paying your salaries. If you have another job, go away. But once you are there, you need to be very respectful. And there is the part of being humble. If you are not humble in the workplace, you are deceiving yourself. So like I said again, be patient, especially if it's emails. Emails are very, they will last long. They can be used as evidence against you when HRs are having discussions about that. But when you are having those kind of communications, make sure you are very points where you cannot take it again. You might want to probably talk to your manager or compose. That's why it's good to know how to communicate. Write a very, very respectful email. You can be telling somebody that you don't have sense, but in that email, you are telling the person that the person has sense. Do you know? So I'm not telling you to tell somebody that the person does not have sense, but I'm telling you that communicate in a very respectful manner, and you are clearly stating what you do not like in a very respectful manner. But at the end of the day, make sure you have respect, you have humility, but you are also confident of what you know, so that nobody takes you for even if you work as an intern in an organization, you should also be respectful, but in the same way, you should also demand respect and the only way you can demand respect is when you actually know your onions. If you don't know your onions, trust me, nobody respects you. Thank you.
I think we have to move. Can I just say, some of these things are going to be personal. You've asked a question. I will speak to the speakers and just ask if they can be available for maybe 15 minutes so that you can ask them personal questions one-on-one and you can give them details. Because sometimes I see something written. When I see defend your dignity, I'm thinking maybe there's an issue there with you yourself, that you need to humble yourself, but I might be wrong. So
it can be an abuse case, and it could be a sexual.
It could be sexual abuse or something like that.
Okay. So can we have the questions back? Okay. So the question says, as a married woman, how do you combine career with family life? Is it easy to forge a career as a married woman?
Honestly speaking, it's not easy, but I've said this before, and a lot of people have called me up and said they don't really agree. But I do believe that you can have it all. I say it again and again and again. However, it's not easy. I'm going to give you my personal opinion on how I do it. My family comes first. I'm a very career-orientated person and also a business person. I am extremely ambitious, like everybody knows. As soon as you meet me, you can tell. However, my family come first today, and my family will always come first. So I find a way to manage the both, and I always let my employers and my partners and my clients know not immediately, but if there's if there's ever any situation, that it ever comes up, I make it very clear, that I'm not going to, do certain things that will jeopardize my family life. Number one. Number two, a good way to manage a career and your family is using the resources around you. I'm not a finicky, panicky mother. I mean, I am to a certain degree, but I always have to remind myself to just stay calm. Allow your friends to help you. Allow your family to help you. Allow your child to go and stay at a family member's house for a week. It's hard for all of us. It's not easy for any mother to do that, but use the resources around you because, women that are very career orientated or ambitious, that have chosen to abandon that to take care of their family, what happens when your family have grown and they've left you? You realize, you look back and you feel like you haven't fulfilled your destiny or you haven't really done what you really wanted to do in life. Or, maybe you wanted to have a family and be in your kids' life and be present and be there for them. But because you're very ambitious, you've chosen that over them. There is a way to manage both. If there's anyone who's struggling with that, I can give you very personal tips on how I do it. But the number one thing is, use the resources around you. And for me, I can't say for everybody, family will always come first.
Thank you. Do we want to add anything else?
I think we should move. I think that's a very good response. Can we clap our hands for that?
Yeah, okay.
Also, from a man's perspective and someone that's hired women, honestly, especially even in this part of the world, one of the things you're just a male manager who is a bit archaic, old in his thinking is this woman, she's going to go on maternity. Do you get what I'm saying? Now, let me speak from a man's perspective. Women, you can't take that away from some of the men. But one of the ways to have it all is that, sorry, that's just how the world is, but be very good at your job. When you show up, work hard. You can't slack off like the man. You know that you have an aim, work hard. I can't really delve because of our time.
Yeah, that's amazing. I like a particular statement. I think I saw this question at a particular event at some point, and I know that I got the response of a woman can build a family and still have a career. It's her superpower. So, yeah. Thank you very much. The other person says, how do you juggle having more than one job or having a job? Okay. The first one says, Mr. Rosewa, in your capacity, sir, what advice will you give a man in his 30s who has been stalled a few years career-wise?
The first thing is to start where you are. And by starting where you are, that means you must assess what you have. Remember, the prophet asked the widow, what do you have in your house? There must be something that you have to start with. Whatever that is, you start from there. And then you then begin the journey. Because, look, what I've realized is that we're in a time where your career can even change 3-4 times. So just assess where you are, decide what direction you want to go in, and when you decide that direction, then find out what it takes to go in that direction, right? But of course, again, be realistic with whatever that direction is. I can't imagine somebody who is 30 now wanting to become a professional footballer. You know that, that ship has sailed. You can be a commentator, you can play FIFA with your son, but professional football has kind of left you. So look at where you are, assess what it is you want to achieve, and find out what it takes to get there, and then begin the journey. Every journey begins with a step, right? And don't be, so dogmatic about what it is that you're going to do. Just know that that is my aim, and I need to get there. So what I'm doing now is a means to an end, and have that end in sight. So it's not too late. 30, you're still young. You can still learn a lot. Just make sure you have an open mind, but you must pick where it is you want to go. Now, in picking where you want to go, I want to say two things. Number one is the God factor. You know, I keep on going back to that. In picking where you want to go, one of the best compasses in life is the Holy Spirit telling you this is what you need to do. This is the direction you need to go. And one of the ways, when you have the Holy Spirit, He will lead you in the most unusual ways. But you must have Him, right? Because He gives you the best compass. But having said that, some people have used that as an excuse for not moving, right? The Bible says He will bless the works of your hands. So engage, do something. You know, there was a parable of the talents. You know, one got 1 talent, one was given 2 talents, one was given 5. And the Bible says that the master told him, occupy till I come. So keep busy with this till I come. So don't keep on waiting. Some people will say they are waiting for the voice of the Lord and they don't do anything. That is laziness, right? Find what it is that God has endowed you with and start with that. As you go on your journey, it will start getting clearer and clearer. But things don't get clearer by staying on one spot. Things get clearer by taking a step and moving forward. I hope that helps.
Yes, sir. Okay. Can we put our hands together, please? That was amazing. Okay, how do you juggle having more than one job or having a job with schoolwork?
Time management. And this is a soft skill that, you know, you're better off learning younger so that it influences how you go into your adult life. When you're in school, you're most likely relatively quite young. So let's put in the body, for instance, you have a lot of energy at that point. And when you're in university as well, it's not like secondary school. You don't have lectures from 9 until 3 or from 9 to 5. You have 1 or 2 lectures per day. You might even have some days where you don't even have lectures at all. Is that right or wrong?
True.
Yeah, you get a part-time job. No one is expecting you to work in an office. You know, we're not expecting you to have a professional job in the university, but you can work in a store, in a retail store. You can work in a supermarket. You literally can work in church. You can work anywhere. You can even work in the school itself. There is time in university. Let's be real. It's just a matter of applying yourself. And if you're able to manage your time, you can do it so perfectly, and it will help you in your adult life.
Okay.
Let me just add to that. It's just perfect. It's just time management, really. So already when you're in school, you have your timetable, right? So when you're looking for work or whatever it is you're looking for, you already know that these are the times that I'm available. So you map everything around those times. And what it means, and this is very important to say, is that it means that you sacrifice some sleep. You might need to sacrifice some TV watching time. You know, there's nothing is free. There's no free lunch anywhere. You must be ready to pay the price. You must have a goal in mind. You know the reason why you're doing what you're doing. The times when your friends are maybe partying or watching a movie or watching Big Brother Niger, you don't have that time because you are sacrificing that time for a future that you have ahead. So, first of all, time management, then be willing to sacrifice. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be a walk in the park. You can't expect to sleep 12 hours a night and be wanting to do 3 jobs and still have school. No, something's got to give. You know, so you must be ready to give it what it takes.
And then utilize your summers as well. You know, these long summer holidays. In the long summer holidays, you can actually get a professional job. A lot of companies are willing to take people that have not graduated yet, including Sterling Bank. So, you know, look out for those type of opportunities and speak to people. Once you know that the summer is approaching, start looking for work to do. I mean, I worked throughout my university, both when I was studying and even during the summertime. So it's possible, you can do it.
Well, Pastor Tolu, I think you wanted to say something.
No, we can. Well, one thing that the speakers have been saying, and I think is great wisdom, is what is your focus? What are you looking at? What is your aim? And sometimes a temporary aim that can be like the person that wants that, how can I manage 2 jobs? It might be, I need more money. What do you need more money for? So really have something that you are targeting. I think that's the first stage.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, just to add, I work like 3 jobs right now. and I'm like a recent graduate. So yeah, focus. I'm not planning to do this for a long time, just for the meantime. Maybe one job is just for 1 year, 6 months, get the money, put it into this and all of that. So just to add that. Thank
Awesome.
you. Okay, so the question is, as a young employee, you work with people who are older than you, but you're on a higher rank than them. How do you balance leadership with age barrier?
This is the thing for me. I'm in the C-suite right now, and obviously I'm working with a lot of
What does
people.
C-suite mean?
C-suite is chief executive officers. Okay. Hello. Hi. Yeah. So the C-suite is chief executive, office roles. So chief marketing officer, chief operations, chief executive. I'm not that young, but at the same time, I'm, working with a lot of people and managing a lot of people that are older than me. It's actually quite hard. A lot of times, and for me, there are certain factors, and let me be super real. Number one, age. Number two, the assumption that I might even be younger than I truly am, because they don't really know your age, they just assume, right? Number three, maybe they've heard you've studied abroad and they think that life has been so soft. They won't know that you've been hustling and doing some ajekpako stuff, and this is real. Number four, being a woman as well. You're managing men that are in their mid-40s, late 40s, and they look at you like, what do you know? What can you teach me? Why should I have to listen to you? I've gone through that. And let me tell you, this is when you need to be tough. Not be mean, but be tough. 1 minute, I can tell you that what you did is wrong. So basically, don't even watch face. They're going to give you a lot of attitude. They're going to act funny. They're going to report you. They're going to say you don't know what you're doing. They're going to try and undermine you at every step of the way. Don't focus on that. Focus on the job you're there to do. And when that person is wrong and you need to correct their work, correct their work. Don't back down. And when I say don't back down, doesn't mean you fight the person. But don't now shy away. Because I almost started shying away from going near the person, those people, or correcting their work. Correct their work when you need to correct their work, and dine with them after. Because it's not personal. You're there to work. Sooner or later, when they see that you've earned your stripes, when they start to know your history and see that you have done the work to get where you are, when they start to see that you know what you're doing and that you can deliver on the job, little by little, two things are going to happen. They're either going to gain respect for you and stop undermining you, which might take time, so you need to be patient. And you also need to understand their journey. It's not easy for them either. One day, I'm going to be old, and one day, maybe I might feel like that about the younger person that's coming up. You never know. So you also need to understand where they're coming from and work through it with them, but always stand up to what is right and do the job you need to do. So that's how I would deal with it.
Put our hands together for that response. You want to say something, sir?
So again, there are two things I will say on this. The first is emotional intelligence will let you know that you need to first of all try and put yourself in the shoes of the person. Emotional intelligence makes you think a lot. So when somebody is coming at you with that, you need to first relax. Why is this person behaving like this? More often than not, it is either of two things. Either they feel threatened, or they are just jealous and bitter, for which there's nothing you can do. However, what trumps everything is to know what you are doing.
Yeah, I resolve.
No matter how angry the person is, when they know that you are competent at what you are doing, that you did not get a free ride or you did not get here by chance, everybody will fall in line.
Yes.
Just know what you're doing, know your onions, and that should even make you challenge yourself more. So that when you appear and you speak, there's nothing else for anybody to say. This is the story of Joseph, right? Do you think they liked Joseph in Egypt? Or results, after he spoke, the overall, you guys need to think about the scenario. Now, Pharaoh does not operate alone, right? He's in charge, but he would have had chiefs who would have been looking at them. Remember, he had called other people to try to interpret the dream. Joseph was a young man when he became king, right? But because he carried results, when you have answers, they will not look at your height, they will not look at your color, they will not look at your gender. They will just know that this is the solution to our problem. And right now, we have a problem. Just let her be, let him be. So make sure you have the stuff, right? Get the stuff, get the knowledge, get the understanding, get the competence. So when you speak, everybody knows that there's nothing else to say.
And you know what? Sometimes this usually works. I've been through a situation where it doesn't work and the person is still after you, right? And like I said, two things are going to happen. The person is either one day going to become a believer, or the person is going to leave you to it and leave and find another square root. Because by the time everybody believes in what you're doing, and that person is the odd one out, and it's now obvious to everyone that this person might have an issue, the person himself or herself will feel uncomfortable and have to excuse you. But the two things to get out of this: be firm. This is when you need to be firm. And secondly, have empathy. You can be firm and still dine and still joke with that person afterwards.
Thank you very much. Can we put our hands together, please? Okay, so the speakers talked about soft skills, but I want to ask if crypto trading is part of the soft skills. If not, what skills do you suggest apart from graphic designing?
So I manage a lot of graphic designers, and they're one of the most crazy people I've ever come across. Crazy. And I actually enjoy managing them. You know, they're very wild human beings. Their imagination. That's the reason. Let me tell you why I like managing them. Because what makes them good graphic designers is their imagination. And because their imagination is so wild, they tend to naturally be wild. They wake up whenever. They don't really agree to what everybody else is doing. They can't deal with dress codes and all of that nonsense we do in the office. But let me start by saying that crypto is not a soft skill. It's a very technical skill. Even graphic design is not a soft skill as well. That's a very technical, hard skill. And neither is crypto. If you're going in that line, well done to you. It's very relevant in the world of today, in Nigeria and abroad. So when Mr. Tucker was talking about jobs abroad and being able to be employed abroad from here, these are two, probably one of the, out of the top 10 or top 5, these two skills would be one of those. But I do want to advise you as a graphic designer or somebody in the creative space, because I manage them, what stands you out is actually your work ethic. The person who we hired currently to be our creative director is a relatively young guy. The first time I met him, when he did his interview, I told my boss then, my MD, that there's no way I can work with this guy. He came recommended. The way he sat, he wore trad, he slouched down, and I said, never, not this guy. But then I had a second interview with him months after. He came by again through somebody else, and I thought, let me give him another chance. He was a bit better in the interview, but I could still sense that creative graphic design energy, which is like big boy energy. And I was like, but I was desperate. So I thought, let me give this guy a chance for the meantime. He surprised me and surprised everybody. Even when I was leaving my organization, I had to drag him with me. Yes, he's a creative, and yes, he's crazy. But when he says 9 o'clock, his 9 is 9. When he says, I'm going to deliver on Tuesday, he delivers on Tuesday. When they send thousands and thousands of emails from HR and nobody even bothers reading it, he's going to read it. And when you ask him a question about it, he's going to answer you. His work ethic is second to none. You see, that's a creative genius who's crazy, but who abides by the rule. And therefore, his future is bright. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, he's going to grow immensely because of that.
That's amazing, but something I picked up, and thank God for, favor that brought that guy around a second time. Maybe his work ethic brought him around the second time. But the first time, that first impression that he created meant that you were like, no. And it took him a few months. So that's one of the lessons that we need to learn from that story, that how you come across, how you present yourself, being emotionally intelligent, how you're carrying yourself. Are you self-aware enough to see how the person that's interviewing you is looking at you? And can you make adjustments? There are times that I'm being interviewed and I can just sense emotional intelligence. You can see maybe from their body language that they're not feeling what you are saying or how you're carrying on. Can you make an adjustment? Many people don't even have that awareness and they just carry on the same way till the end and it's a no.
Absolutely. It took 6 months for that guy to come back round. And I interviewed a girl recently, not a creative girl, just supposed to have a big technical skill. Her CV looked good, and I was really looking forward to interviewing her. Funny enough, on the interview day, she didn't come. She didn't turn up. No big deal. Her CV looked really good, so I thought, she's probably busy in her normal job. You give it a chance. So she came when she finally came, and immediately, she was just ice cold. How are you doing? Fine. Oh, you couldn't make it the other day when everybody came for the interviews. What happened to you? I had an appointment. Wow. And let me tell you, that interview didn't last more than 5 minutes because why do I need you? What skill do you have that's going to make me, that nobody else has, that's going to make me deal with this type of behavior in the long run? There's nothing you have that any company will take with a bad attitude. Never, ever.
So emotional intelligence tells you to do your research before going to where you're going, right? It is not everywhere that you can show up in jeans, and not even normal jeans, torn jeans, slippers and socks, and say, yeah, I'm a Gen Z, I'm a creative, we do crazy things, we live by our own rules. It's going to take you a longer time to be able to get to where you're going. So emotional intelligence tells you, okay, this environment, I'll give you an example, and it happens till any age. A few months ago, I was on a panel to join the IBB Golf Club in Abuja. And on that particular day, I actually thought through the fact that I was going to sit in front of this panel, and I thought, what should be the best thing for me to wear, right? So on that day, I had gone to work, I was dressed like this. And I thought, okay, these are golfers. What do they wear when they are playing golf? They wear t-shirts and, some trouser, trainers, And since the email or text did not tell us a dress code, I decided to try, to look like them. But I made a mistake, right? I did not notice that they don't wear jeans. They wear t-shirts and trousers, but it is never jeans, right? And the first thing the chairman of the panel said is, Mr. Rosho, did you come here to disrespect us today? This is me that I had even consciously, I was like, I'm sorry, what happened, sir? I said, if you didn't plan to disrespect us, you will not come dressed like this. And I narrated the story that I just told you now to him, that in actual fact, I was dressed like him this morning, and I went home to specifically change. Maybe I missed it with the jeans, but it was not out of an attempt to disrespect. If anything else, it is actually me trying to impress you. So I apologize. And of course, there was a lady in the panel. I think my charm won the lady straight. She was like, oh, Mr. Chairman, don't worry, I'm sure he's a respectful young man. Let's go on with the interview. And of course, I scaled through. But what am I saying? If you don't think through things and you just feel like, I can do anything, after all, we're free, we're Gen Z. It doesn't work, right? It works in certain environments and it makes life harder for you. Just calm down, make life, you don't need to create barrier for yourself. There are already barriers, lessen the barrier by, looking the path, appearing the part, speaking the part. And that is emotional intelligence. It doesn't mean that that is the way you look all the time, but for the purpose of this, you almost have to be an actor.
Okay, thank you. I think
one more thing I would just like to also say, because I work in the technical space. I work with quite a lot of software developer, product designers, and there is this, because it is a thing in town, there's this aggressiveness, there's this, we are the guys in town, we can do it out. So yes, having those technical skills are, but the difference between you and somebody that is going to rise to a leadership position is basically your soft skills. So you can have all the technical software skills, design skills in this world, and you remain where you are for the next 5 years. So the difference between you and the person that is going to get promoted in the office is basically how the person communicates, the ethics, how the person writes emails, the body language. So regardless of the kind of skills that you have, that you think that everybody needs, if you do not have those required soft skills, forget it. You will continue to be a software developer for the next 10 years, while your mates will become software developer managers. Your mates that are in design will start becoming product design managers. So you need to get, I still say this when I interview people. If you don't have the desire, you can be very low in technical skills. You can have a very low product management skills, software skills. But if you have the right communication skills, I'll hire you and we'll train you. Yeah. But if you have zero soft skills and you have all the technical skills, the reason I will not hire you is because you are going to cause a problem to my team. No matter the level of technical skills that you have, we will not bring you into the company because you are going to cause a problem. So when you are trying to get jobs, when you are trying to rise in an organization, the most important things that we need to have is basically the soft skills, team management, communication. I know these things, we always say it every day, but these things are the things that differentiate leaders from people that will continue to be subordinates for the rest of their lives. Thank you.
Let me just add to that very, very quickly. So as you grow in your career, the reason why you keep hearing about soft skills is that that's what becomes your number one KPI. Number one KPI means that what you're measured, what your success metrics is. So I always tell my managers and the senior managers, you're not being paid to do that task. I don't care whether you can do it or not. I don't care about your presentation skills. I do not care that you don't know how to click this button, or you don't know how to bring a sale, or you don't know how to do a campaign. But I care that you know how to manage people and that you know how to get results. So your soft skills, if you do want to climb that ladder, you really have to learn them now, because people are going to be looking out for it. Every time there's a promotion coming, let me tell you, if you don't have soft skills, you're not going to be promoted, because essentially you're being promoted to become a leader. And how can you be a leader if you don't have soft skills? Your hard skills are for when you're first starting out. Your soft skills are going to take you to the top.
Okay, thank you.
I used to say exactly that. Let me be a bit rude here. At the entry level, and many of us are at the entry level, you just need to learn some things, technical skills, you just need to learn them. But I used to say, any monkey can do that. I can get any monkey to do that. As you're going up, you want to differentiate yourself from a monkey that can be taught to press tap, tap, tap 20 times a day. And it's those soft skills. Before we move on, because we have to move on and we have to end this session, the crypto, I might be showing my age here, but I just want to say, be careful. There's always a new thing. Crypto is legit. Let me just put that out there. It's 100% legit. And by all means, get involved. But be careful. There's always fads that come, that go. I'm not saying crypto is going to be one of those, but be careful. Still have what you're actually doing. Don't just sit at home and there'll be 100 people, 100 young people, and all of them are, I'm getting into crypto, I'm getting into crypto. Fast forward 5 years, only maybe 5 of those people have made it a career. And the rest of them is just been wasted time. So be careful. I don't know if any of the panelists have some expertise on that.
On crypto?
Yes,
okay.
Some advice about crypto.
No, but there's some very important
Is
questions
crypto
here.
trading?
Okay, so we're moving on from that question. So can we put our hands together? Thank you. So this person says, as a student, how do I let my parents know that I don't want to walk in line of my degree in a way they would understand? They sometimes think I just hate school. I can relate to that one.
Yeah, you can hate school all you want, but I mean, somebody is paying for it, so go to school. I mean, we just sometimes have to make certain sacrifices. Going to school, it's okay to hate school, but you still have to go, because in life you're going to do a lot of things you hate. but you still have to do. It doesn't stop there. Go to school, give them that. And you don't need to argue with them too much, right? Finish school and try and finish as well as you can. Do your best. And whatever you come out with, you come out with. When you finish school and you start looking for jobs, they're not in the computer looking for jobs with you. Look for the job that you know, that you're convicted. God has told you this is your line. Or something you want to try that you think you can be very good at. Look for that job in that. And when you get it, no parent is going to say, no, you can't go to work. For instance, you study economics or you study politics or, I don't know, banking, accounting, and you know that you want to work in creative or graphic design or marketing, for instance, or even HR. When you get a HR job with Google, is your parents going to say no? You're wasting too much time focusing on the wrong thing and arguing at home. You don't need to argue with them. Give them the degree. When you finish, if you are truly as determined as you sound, then arguing with your parents is not even a problem. When you finish school, go and find opportunities in the area that you love. They will jump on board.
Okay. Do we want anything else? Sorry, can I be allowed to add something? So from somebody who studied something very different from what I'm doing, I think that is what Pastor Tolu said, results. So when I started volunteering around my 200 level and I got to go on air, I would sometimes tell my mom, oh, I'm on air 101.7, tune in. Or if she was not available, I would make a recording and send it to her or send it to the family page and see what Statistics daughter is doing in media. So just results over time. And when I was going to apply for my first job, I didn't say anything, just went for the interview and came back and said, oh, so I'm starting a job with this radio station. So results is actually a way to convince
And she'll
them.
be the one spreading to all our friends. Oh, do you know my daughter does this? Do you know my daughter does that?
I think one of the issues is that if you're not getting results early, it's going to be a hard fight. And for young people, that's an area that you need to start looking at that. So you are 18 years old or you're 20 years old and you are telling them that you want to be a footballer, that you're going to be a footballer. I know my friend has already talked about that. And no one has ever come, no coach has ever said, this boy, I need him. We're playing a tournament in Abuja, we're going to fly him there. Nothing like that is ever happening. No wonder your parents have an issue with it. Maybe you want to be a producer. You think that you're going to produce for the band. Okay, maybe not the band. Maybe you're going to produce for Nathaniel Bassi and co. But even your church choir did not use any of your beats. There's a problem. So we need to start being realistic because a lot of people come to me and they're like, I want to do this. Mom and dad are not supporting me. That is true. I hear you on that. I played football at a high level. My dad and mom never came to one game. She's here. Never. Football, what's that? That's a hobby. But when a university said, in America, said we'll give this boy $20,000 for his school fees, it changed. So I know that circumstances are different. Sometimes you can't get that good if you don't get that support. Like if they never let you go out, how will you get good? But for the most part, sometimes we're a bit delusional. So results speak. Results speak.
And you can even create parody, for example, somebody who's going into media, just stay in your room, record something, send to them to listen. I mean, there's no parent that would be so mean that would not hear that potential in your voice and say, oh, this child has this tendency. Yeah, so can we put our hands together for them?
Truly, if people, I let me use the example of my in-laws who are in the creative space. Sometimes they had to pay the sacrifice and just go at it by themselves. And then over time, when results start showing, then everyone now comes on board.
Just to add to that, because generally what tends to happen is you then start fighting. Say, no, I'm not going to school. No. If I'm not going to do this, it's either this or I drop out.
if you drop out, you are the one that will suffer for it. Because education creates a level playing field for you. So at the minimum, somebody has chosen to pay for it, take it, right? If we're going to give a very direct example, even though, I mean, I don't know, well, somebody like Files the bad guy is a lawyer. His father is Femi Falana. They said they weren't listening. He used to make noise in the house, do this music thing, do this. He finished law, went to law school before he finally launched his, even though all along, all these things he was doing it in secondary school on the side.
Even in uni.
Yes, in uni he was doing it on the side. But
he wasn't that good in uni, just by the way.
He stayed on the course, finished the part, because even all these careers, most of them, they don't last forever. It's education that will give you a platform that you can always fall back to. Think about it. Somebody like Sunday Olise is a graduate, a footballer. If you look at most of the footballers' careers, he has one of the best careers after he has finished playing. What is the difference? He studied economics, right? Studied economics, graduated, is using that skill now to build, whether it is a coaching academy, is a this, is a that. Education, you can't go wrong with having that platform. So don't get angry and then let them, and they say, I'm dropping out. You know, it looks fancy. How many dropouts make it? You'll be choosing two examples. You say, after all, Bill Gates is a dropout, a billionaire dropout. Do you know where he dropped out from? Harvard. Is it Bill to enter Harvard?
Speakers are always using those examples. Bill Gates. Enter to see in Kotimunso. Pull your ears. Don't anyone that just starts using that Bill Gates. Give them 5 minutes and hear what they have to say. But if they keep on saying that you can just do it, you can drop out and be what you want, just tune off. I see in this culture, football, I know a lot. You mentioned Sunday Olise, and you see some of the ex-footballers, Nigerian footballers, that had a glorious career, that were household names in Nigeria. And sometimes I play with them. They're playing all-stars, and you pity their state.
What has become of them?
What has become of them? But most of the guys that have a solid education, they don't turn out like that. They have the same career, they have the same glory, but they are able to transition and make a better part of their life in their second career.
I mean, Nature C is a good example of that. You know, he studied, he did the rap thing. And when he was done with that, when everything started going quiet for him, he was able to transition into banking. And now he's even transitioned into politics as well as banking. And that's because he finished his education. He could have fought his parents. They have a bit of money. He could have said, you know what, guys, I want to rap and I don't want to do this school thing. And then what would happen when his career fizzled out? He didn't plan for his career to fizzle out. He just did it. He just did by himself.
Yeah, okay. At the end of the day, if you decide to drop out, there's 100% certainty that you would still have to go back to school, because to reach some certain heights
100%.
in management, leadership, somebody would have to tell you that, oh, at this point we want to give you this position, but no, you do not have this. Please go back to school to get this certificate. Go back to school to get this executive education before we can give you this. So whether you like it or not, school is important. Even the Mark we are talking about, take it or leave it, the Mark has done a lot of executive education courses. So whatever Bill Gates, he has done a lot of courses. So you would still have to go back to school. And there are some opportunities that will come across your way that you might not be able to get because you also do not have an education certificate. You might have money. Money would come. But to get to some certain heights, you would obviously need education. So I would always advise, just finish up, graduate, so then, you don't have to start hustling for school when you're supposed to be enjoying your money.
Okay. Can we put our hands together? These are powerful responses. So because we still have a breakout session with Mr. Timlane where we'll be talking on practical tips on securing a dream job, we'll just take these 4 questions as quick as possible and then we'll wrap up this part of the discussion. So this person says, oversaturation for a particular vacancy happens. What can be done when I have a burning passion for an oversaturated vacancy? Programming, for example, or graphics. What do you think can be done? Mr. Topaya.
Okay. So, I think this person, I would like to speak to the person so that I can understand the particular situation very well. But you see, I always tell people that passion is good, but sometimes you need to be realistic. So passion is good, but I think wisdom is better. Wisdom is studying your environment and looking for what is required and being positioned close to what is required. So people say there are no jobs, there are no jobs. It's a lie. It is that there are no jobs that you qualify for. There are plenty jobs. Plenty. So what you need to do is to find where the jobs are plenty and there's a shortage and develop yourself in that line. As opposed to rushing, for example, somebody, I get it too many times. I'm a graduate, I don't have, okay, so what do you want to do? I don't know anything. What is the meaning of that? What is the meaning of anything? Anything mean, just any admin job. That is the next thing, just any admin job. Admin job that very soon computers and robots will be able to do. Do you understand? So in this programming that you said, there is no oversaturation. Maybe there is a particular area that has been oversaturated, but there are always new areas.
There's
what you need to be, yes,
Yeah,
is
you
to
need
be,
to speak to all of us because there are jobs across.
you need to be at the cutting edge. Everything is moving. Look, you can, and I'll give you an example in, say for example, in construction, right? You can be an engineer that graduated from somewhere, you are fresh, you don't know anything. If you come like that, it's very likely that you will not get a job. But today, in construction, in engineering, there's what we call building information management. That is a skill that you can learn in addition to your engineering that differentiates you from just a graduate engineer. So when you come for an interview, you are speaking to the interviewer and you're saying, oh yeah, I'm an engineer, but I also have XYZ skill. You must differentiate yourself. If there are 20 people doing the same thing, they will hire the one that's differentiated himself, that has shown initiative, right? Even in technical skills, in programming, in computer, you must always be at the cutting edge. When I was in school, what was reigning at the time was being a network, whatever. So while I was a student, I also did CCNA. So when I graduated, I did not just have a degree, I also had a professional qualification. So when I'm in the room with somebody, I'm saying, and listen to this, I'm a graduate, I have my professional qualification, and I have job experience as an IT help desk. Even if all I was doing there was installing, nobody knows that I've packaged the CV. You cannot, this thing, you must be there, go there like you are going to war. Don't just appear. You go to war and appear with no weapons. You are a joker. They will not take you seriously. So you go there, everything, everywhere they look, you are set. That is how to get there.
Thank you very much, sir. Please, can we put our hands together? Do we want to add anything else? Okay, so this person says during an interview, do you have any tips on how not to overdo my whole personality thing? Because it can sometimes be easy to get carried away.
Yeah, so during my session, I spoke about bringing your whole self, and we're hiring more than just your CV. We're hiring, your personality and who you are. I'm guessing that this person is a bit of an extrovert. It sounds like it, right?
Sounds like it, yes.
And the person has a lot of personality, and the person doesn't want to cross the line. I think that, God factor again, spirit of discernment. You need to, you know when maybe you're joking, which jokes are okay in interviews. I personally enjoy them, but just make them slight. Make sure those jokes are not personal. So you can make a joke, for instance, about the weather, but don't make a joke about me because you don't know me. So in your spirit when you feel like you're crossing the line. Also, you can bring your personality to an interview without being loud and crazy and speaking about things that really don't make sense. When I say bring your whole self and bring your personality, talk about your experiences passionately and speak less about what's on your CV and more about your experiences and the things you like and the things that you don't like. And pray before you do any interview. Pray for the spirit. If you're someone that that you sometimes go over the top, pray for the spirit of discernment and let the spirit lead you and let the spirit lead your mouth as well.
Praise God. Who's the pastor? Is it me or you? Let me do something. This might sound bad. Can you come, my brother? Let's do something practical regarding that question. How do I not overdo my personality? Please, sir, you'll be the interviewer. And just ask any question. Just maybe come in. I've come into the room. You're greeting me.
Okay. Oh, you're welcome. So you are here today to be interviewed for the position of a business manager. Please tell us about yourself.
Thank you. You can hear his voice very calm. You can tell that he has some money, very chilled out. He's just using his arm like that. I want to mirror that. So, how you doing, sir? My name is Tolu Pokwala. I'm so glad to be here. I am passionate about blah, blah, blah. Can you see? I'm mirroring his own demeanor. I'm not going over the top. Something that startles people is that you come in, I as the interviewer, or he as the interviewer doesn't know, but it's just a psychology thing. I come in and I just give him the opposite of his demeanor, the opposite of his personality. He's going to be on the back foot. And the opposite can be, I'm a manager, I'm very jovial. How you doing, buddy? Good. And you're just like, and you just go cold. And you're just like, because I'm not used to that. For example, if someone that's very extroverted, how you doing? Welcome. Come, you're gonna have fun today. I'm just like, calm down, why are you touching me, bro? But I have to know that this is my interviewer. I have to mirror him. So I consciously, and that's emotional intelligence, consciously come out of my shell. And like Pastor Tokwe said, I act. If you see that the guy is using his hands a lot when he's asking you questions, don't overdo it, but also use your hand to express, because that's how that person receives information. I don't know if I'm making sense.
Let me just, that's perfect, right? Let me just say that. You know, it took me a very long time to learn this. It took me attending over 50 interviews to realize that every interview is meaning Nollywood. Did you hear what I said?
Yeah.
Your job there is to show them what they want to see.
Yes, sir.
And tell them what they want to hear. Finish. Don't try to, no.
Yeah.
So that is where your research would have come in.
Yeah.
You have researched the organization. You have possibly, if you had the chance, research the people that will be interviewing you, and you are just telling them what they want to hear. Don't look, sometimes Yoruba people say shoki lobeoge aborola. Don't do more than necessary. Just do enough to get you to the next stage, and that is what I found out, right? You must know when you have your long-term goals and your short-term goals. Right now, my immediate goal is to get to the next stage. I'll prove other things to them later, but for now, let me give them what they want to hear at this first interview. Finish. When you get to the next stage, maybe a new set of skills are required. You again, maybe the first time you are acting a comedy movie. But when you come for the next stage, you need to act horror movie. You give them horror movie. Are you hearing what I'm saying? I'm speaking in parables, but I'm just telling you, it is acting. And all of us, even the interviewer knows that you're acting.
Absolutely.
But we would like you to put up a good act, right? I think that's
awesome. I know in Timile's session, we have an expert in the HR here. He's going to give us some more things. You mentioned something about researching, and this day and age, no one has an excuse, because there's LinkedIn. You cannot research the company, or you can even research the interviewers if you know who is interviewing you. Sometimes you might not know the personalities, but if I'm going for a job at Sterling Bank in marketing, or Sterling Alternative Bank, or whatever you guys call yourself,
Sterling Bank,
I might not know that Lulu Desalu is the, what do you call yourself?
CMO,
sorry, our guest. But I know that they have a CMO, so I'll check who is the CMO, who is the marketing manager, and it's all there on LinkedIn. Yeah. Praise God. Did you get it?
Yes, sir.
Please move.
Please, can we put our hands together? So we'll take the last question quickly before we move on to the workshop. What would you advise on professional certification versus school certificate, especially after first degree? So master's or professional certification?
I would say professional certification. Honestly speaking, and this is pretty much fact, but I don't know what the other panelists think. So when you've just finished your first degree, what you need to really focus on is experience. The only reason why I'm saying professional certification is because you gave us two options. So out of those two options, I would say professional certification. When you finish your degree, focus on experience. Like we said, start from anywhere. An internship, a non-paying job, you know, CSR, volunteer work, anything. Because a professional degree, like a master's degree, is actually a degree that you're supposed to have worked. You're supposed to know the line of work you want to continue and then go and master in that. So I already made the mistake, and that's why I'm quite passionate about this question. When I finished my first degree in marketing and PR, I did my master's in logistics, supply chain management. I've never ever used it. The reason why I chose this degree is because one of my lecturers then was saying, the way the world is moving, and you know, this is going to be the hottest new thing. And obviously, a very young, impressionable girl that wanted to make it, I thought, yes, I'm going to do it.
Consult, because some of your lecturers, they are selling.
True.
University is expensive. The good ones in Nigeria is 1 million and over. In the West,
all universities everywhere.
In the West is thousands and tens of thousands of pounds and dollars. It's important, but like she said, once you back that first degree, look for experience, and while you're gaining that experience, depending on your field, professional certification. There are some fields that postgraduate degrees are necessary. Like if you are in, I don't know, medicine or something, there are some degrees that you have to get after your first degree, like maybe architecture. You have to do that extra year. But for most disciplines, get the experience, then get professional certification, and then you can do the masters. Now, if your parents are putting pressure to do the masters, it's not a problem. Do it. There will always be benefit for it, but it's not the best route. For example, like she said, and the same thing with me, after you do that masters, for the most part, except you're doing your masters in Harvard or the top institutions, even then, you are going back to the bottom. If you've done a first degree and a master's, but no experience, you're going back to entry level. Is that not correct?
Yes.
So, I think, again, it depends on your particular situation. If you're done and you have the opportunity to do your master's straight away, and maybe you have a scholarship or your parents are paying for it, by all means do it. And I don't think it should be, if you are able to, it should not be an either or. It should be an and. You can do both the master's and the professional qualification together, because most of the time, like I told you, even I finished my professional qualification while I was still doing my bachelor's. Why? Because I studied in the evening, I did the exams at, it's just about time management and career management, managing your career. So it doesn't have to be an either or, it can be both. You can do both, but of course, if for example, you are an accountant, it's very likely I would rather hire a chartered accountant with just the first degree than a chartered accountant that has a master's degree. Or an accountant who is not chartered but just has a master's degree. Are you getting the point? But if you have the opportunity, why not just do everything? You are young. If you can do it, just do everything.
Very true. Thank you very much, sir. Do you have something to say?
Before we round up, there was a question that flashed up that was quite important.
The person about basketball.
There's something about, should I take the bad deal even though I have a family to fend for?
Oh yeah, the person who wrote a bad deal can be very dangerous, but should I still go for it even though I have family to take care of? Yes.
Yeah, so my direct answer would be yes. if you have a deal on the table and you think that you're worth more, and you have a family to fend for, you know that this deal is not going to sufficiently cater for your family. If you have nothing else, take it. You know, if you know that you're worth more, your worth is going to come. And when your worth comes, you leave the bad deal and you jump. But if you don't take the bad deal and you're idle and you're sitting at home for a little while, or you're in a situation that is not good for you, then you're prolonging, you know, the issue. And also during that period, let's say you're sitting at home, you're not earning anything, so you really have not much to lose. You're gaining experience. Your CV doesn't look empty, because when you get the good deal, they're going to ask you what you were doing during that period. So take the bad deal.
Yeah.
The good one will come.
It's funny, I have people seeking for a job, they apply, then you tell them, you know, talk about money, and maybe you say it's 100,000 or 50,000, and I can't take that. But what are you doing right now? Nothing. And you were surviving on nothing, and now 50,000 is now not enough. So I get that you are still looking and you're hoping for better, but there comes a point where I don't know, am I making sense?
Yes, you are.
You're basically saying a half deal is better than no deal.
Yes,
sir. Yeah, that's true.
Absolutely. Take a bad deal.
Please, can we put our hands together? This has been amazing.
Let's celebrate the wisdom. Thank you so much. Let's celebrate the wisdom. It's so much that's been downloaded in just this hour and a half. If you can just take 10% of it, it will do you good. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Please, can we put our hands together again as they walk away from the stage? Okay, so just be on your seat. If you haven't received snacks and water, that will be coming around shortly. We have a career fair that will soon start, but I will be inviting some of the people who are around to just come and talk to us about what they do. Currently, we have Interconnect, we have Film House Cinemas, we have Mahogany Hotel and Suites, we have Access Bank PLC. So we're sure to have a beautiful time when the career fair is on. But I would like to have somebody from any of these organizations to just come up here and talk to us. But in the meantime, just sit down, it's a little break, eat what is in your hand. And afterwards, we will have the workshop with Mr. Timley on practical tips on securing a dream job.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. You are here for the job interview?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So what's your name?
I'm Emmanuel Precious.
Emmanuel Precious. What's your name?
Emmanuel Precious. Sabinus.
Sabinus. Okay, where did you school?
School. Yeah, I schooled at Uniport.
Oh, Uniport. That's yes. University of Port Harcourt?
No, Uniport.
Is that not University of Port Harcourt?
No, it's different. Uniport, the one in Choba. University of Port Harcourt is the one in Port Harcourt. Like, it's far from Uniport.
Okay, never mind. Do you have your application letter?
Application letter?
Yes, application letter. Something like this.
Application. Application letter. Application letter for people. Application, Instagram, Facebook.
Jeez, that's not what he meant.
What did he mean?
Okay, I think we're good to go. We'll have the companies just come up in a bit now. But while we wait for that, can we put our hands together for some mighty people in our midst? We have Apostle Sunday Kokola and Reverend Mrs. Omomi Kokola. Please put your hands together. Heavier claps, please. Thank you very much. I love it. Thank you very much. So can we have Interconnect come up here in a bit just to talk to us about the roles that you hire
it's supposed to be here, but
please put your hands together for Interconnect.
Very far. So I branched to watch ball. Manchester United man.
These people may employ you. I'm expecting the claps to be louder. Come on, we can do better. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, everyone. I want to thank the organizers of today's program and all protocols observed. I want to really say thank you for the opportunity to be here. I want to say this is a rare opportunity, and in fact, so I've learned a lot also. So my name is Ibilola Afolabi. I'm the head of marketing and customer relations for Interconnect Partners Limited. We're an IT solution company. We offer a total solution right from your interconnectivity solutions to the complete IT and networking need. So at Interconnect, basically what we do is we have a very vast opportunity for youth. In fact, part of our CSR is we have focus on schools. For example, we give services to university, and we have so many things we do to support youth especially. So at Interconnect, you're welcome from internship. That's for basically, it's going to be basically for science-oriented students because it's an IT company. So we have various opportunities in marketing, in internship when it comes to computer and any IT-related courses. You're welcome. Also, for other courses, we also have opportunity for vacancies in customer support and any other. Once you have some basic, once you have those basic foundation in being able to attend to customers and support properly, you are equally welcome. So you can just, maybe when the program is going, you can come to our desk. We'll be willing to take your CVs and lead you to the right opportunity. Thank you very much.
So we all have time to walk to all the organizations on ground when it's time for the career fair. Please wait until you've been instructed to go there before you go there. I would like Film House Cinemas to come up here and also give a talk. Please, can you put your hands together? Please, let's put our hands together once again. Wouldn't it be nice if we get offered the kind of job where you just watch movies for free? I would like that kind of job. Thank you. Anyway.
Hi everyone, good afternoon. Hi everyone, good afternoon. I mean, it's a career fair fest. We're all supposed to be smiling and, happy. We have different employers here. I am Jennifer representing Film House Limited. What we do is, in the cinema brand, we have like a group function in terms of the cinema locations across site where we showcase our movies. We also have the Film One production, which is all more or less like the distribution and production of movies. And in terms of, having across like the recruitment platform, there are various opportunities across our sites, which are like our locations. If you want to work, the front line, having interactions with our guests as a team member or as a stock person, as a cinema manager, we have that opportunity as well. And coming down to like the main head office where you have like opportunities for, strategy, working with the marketing team, the legal team, the HR team, our customer experience center as well. All of these are also available. So you're all welcome. If you want to get in on this action, we're right over there. Thank you.
Okay, so yes, you can also go to the Film House, English, Jesus. You can also go to the Film House Cinema desk when it's time for the career fair. We also have Mahogany Hotel and Suites. So they will come up in a bit and tell us, the job opportunities they have. But I also want us to, if you still have questions, you can walk up to Pastor Tolu or any of our speakers when we are done with the workshop session. And you can also ask questions during the workshop session. So can we put our hands together for Mahogany Hotel and Suites representative?
Good afternoon, all. I'm from Mahogany Hotel and Suites. Like Mahogany is under hospitality. And hospitality is just to make people welcome, to make them feel at home. Like anywhere you are, you're always welcome. And our services, we actually render different kind of services. Apart from selling room, you can come for your birthday surprises, any kind of surprise you you want. You can also, we have halls too, so you can also come for our halls, maybe for meetings, for dinners, and we hire for these positions. We have our receptionist, we have the porter, we have marketing, social media manager, the waiter, the waitress, the laundry, the barman, and thank you very much.
Okay, please, can we have Access Bank PLC? Are they around? Okay, yes, can we have Access Bank come and talk to us about positions that they have? This is a bank. Bank, ladies and gentlemen, jam your hands. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, all. Sorry, firstly, I want to apologize for coming late. We have a lot of things to do at work. So my name is Kola Ogumodede. I'm from Access Bank, and we are, on behalf of my friends, myself and my friends, we are here to meet up with your requests, attend to your account needs, and do the necessary follow-up. So if you need any complaint or there is anything you'd like to know, you can just walk up to us and we'll attend to you. Thank you.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're moving on to the workshop. The profile of our speaker will be up in a bit. So media team, please help me with that. So the profile will be up. I also want to remind us that when the first speaker, Mrs. Lolude Salu, was speaking here, she mentioned that, you can speak to her about Sterling Bank and they have hiring positions. If you did not pick it, I picked it because it's a bank. So if you have questions, please make sure that you see her when we are on a break, when we are doing the career fair, having the career fair. Please make sure that you don't hear anything here that you're allowed to just slip by you. If you have questions, walk up to somebody. Anything you miss now, I don't want to say you miss it forever, but just make sure that you don't, out of not wanting to walk around or not wanting to network, you then sit down and miss out on opportunities. So please, when it's time for us to move around, please move around, talk to people, ask questions, feel at home, get comfortable. Like he said, stay hungry. Hunger will push you, so you will talk. Can we have the profile of our speaker? We'll be having a workshop titled Practical Tips on Securing a Dream Job. So please get ready also, because this is going to be very beautiful as well. So put your phones down as usual and listen. Thank you.
Oluwatimileyin Shonibare is a certified international talent management professional and leadership career coach with expertise in core areas of talent management. His experience spans across technical recruiting, change management, HR transformation, learning and development, recruitment and selection, recruitment marketing, talent management, employer branding, employee and management, leadership strategy. Oluwatimileyin Shonibare is a certified international talent management professional and leadership career coach with expertise in core areas of talent management. His experience spans across technical recruiting, change management, HR transformation, learning and development, recruitment and selection, recruitment marketing, talent management, employer branding, employee and labor relations, performance management, leadership strategy and policy formation, and other technology-driven HR functions. He currently works as a technical recruiter at Building Mind, a renowned global tech real estate firm. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Oluwatimileyin Shonibare.
Okay, so my name is Timileyin. I was here last year, and I'm here again this year. I want to make sure I keep to time, so I think I have about 25 minutes. So just a short story, very quick short story. So last year I came here, and during the networking session, a student from UI approached me, and I mean, she just asked questions as regards our CV. I don't know if I might still calm down. She just asked questions as regards our CV, and we just got talking from there. And I mean, I helped her review her CV. I think she's currently in 300. She's currently in 300 level in UI. And this year she reached out to me again and said, I mean, ASU is on strike. She needed something to do. And I have like a side hustle client that I worked with, and she was interested in social media. And I sent her CV to them. She came to Lagos, she did the interview. And now she currently works as a social media manager for them. So I mean, coming back here, it just recalled in my head that, I mean, he worked for somebody. And I mean, I got a report last week from the MD of the MD of the company that she does an extremely good job. I mean, she's currently in her final year, and I think they currently pay her, I think, about 40K. I mean, she's an intern. I mean, when I graduated from school, I earned 40K for 1 year. So if you're earning 40K while you're still in university, it's not bad. And it was like, I mean, it needs to increase her salary, increase the salary of an intern. I mean, it tells you how much vibe she puts to it. So what I'm just trying to pass across is, I mean, gatherings like this can lead you to an extremely good job. So don't take away networking from this program. So yes, I'll be talking about CV writing and LinkedIn profile. I mean, I put LinkedIn there because these days, people in recruitment even take LinkedIn seriously than CVs now. I mean, my last 3 jobs that I've worked in was basically LinkedIn. And most recruiters, even when you send your CV, they go back to check your LinkedIn profile. So CV and LinkedIn these days are at par. I also want to make it as practicable as possible. So, I mean, I'll just be touching on some particular points. I don't know, do we have our CVs here? If you came in your CV, can you just wave your hand? If you did, okay, because I might, at the points, ask for our CVs. So, I mean, we know that CV requires some particular sections, your name, your information, your profile. I mean, how many of us have our pictures on our CV? You have your pictures on your CV. Can I see your hands? Nobody? Oh, cool. Okay, first is, you really do not need your picture on your CV unless it is required. So I just need to pass that information across. I mean, do not put your picture in your CV unless it is required or the company asks you to put it on it. Then also, there's a part of your CV that talks about your name, your personal information. Some of us have YEC, the school we went to in secondary school, and our CVs. I mean, I know you have those things. Your date of birth, the day that you got baptized. Some of those information are on your CV. So, informations like your date of birth, informations like your secondary school, they are not important informations that should be on your CV. So I'm going to tell us some of those important personal information to take out of your CV. So the personal information on your CV is your name. I mean, your first name and your last name. Your email address, not email address that sounds like babyj@gmail.com. Some of you have some very nice email address, yahooboy@yahoo.com. I mean, some very creative email address. So you must make sure that your email address is official. Then your phone number and your address. When I say your address, I mean your home address. And when I say your home address, I do not mean, so for example, if you live in Lagos, you live in number 2, Okpebi Street, Ikeja, Lagos. I also do not expect you to put, I mean, it's not required of you to put your full address on your CV. So what you can actually just put is Okpebi, Ikeja, Lagos. Am I communicating? So instead of having your full address, I mean, if you stay in somewhere in Ibadan and the place is around Bodija, I don't expect you to put number 16, Alaji, Bodija Street, Ibadan, or your state. I mean, all you are required, I mean, I'm saying this especially because your CV gets to a lot of places. You don't want your home address flunging around everywhere, except it is required. So if you stay in Bodija, for example, all that is required to see on your CV is
Bodija, Ibadan, or your state. That is what. So the reason people ask for your CVs, your address during interviews, is because they majorly want to know how close you are to the place of work. So that is the major reason. So nobody really wants to know the exact place where you live. So for security reasons and because of your CV can get anywhere, always just put the closest location to where you stay and your home address. Then also there's a part that a lot of us take lightly when drafting our CVs is the personal profile, the summary section, and the objective. Now, let me tell you something that you should know. This is the first section that a recruiter sees when they look at your CV. So if you send your CV to me now, the first thing I'll see is your name, your email, your phone number. The next thing that comes up is the summary of your profile. And this summary profile takes about 4 lines. And the idea of this summary is to communicate what is in your CV in 4 lines. Do we get? So all I want to know about you. So a lot of times, I'm sure you've heard people tell you that recruiters takes about 6 seconds to look at CVs. Before I started working in recruitment, I used to something wrong with you. How will you just take 10 seconds or 6 seconds to look at my CV? But that's true because there are times where I have 1,000 CVs to look at in 2 days. So what I want to see in your CV is what is going to catch my attention. So in your summary profile that is immediately after your name, your email, and your phone number, what you should be portraying to me here is, in 5 lines, tell me what you do. In 5 lines, tell me what you'll be adding to the organization that wants to hire you. So you need to, everybody always put, dedicated, industrious, efficient, leadership skill, team management, those buzzwords. Those words are not important. So for example, if you work in digital marketing, you should be saying something about your digital marketing skills in your profile. If you work in sales, I should be seeing something that talks about you being a salesperson in 4 lines. And I don't expect you to come up with those words by just closing your eyes and opening them. So you need to calm down. Sell yourself to me in 4 lines. That is what should be in your summary. So like I said, if somebody sees that summary section and does not see the rest of your CV, would the person be able to hire you based on that? So that is the question that you need to ask yourself. So when you're talking about your summary, your profile objective, take that into cognizance. Then your work experience. Most of us, when we talk about our work experience, we're always talking about our duties. So for example, you worked in Google and you were a product manager. You're talking about the daily things that you did in Google. When you're talking about your job experience, what I expect to see is your accomplishments. Am I communicating? So what I'm expecting to see is your accomplishments. So when you worked in company A, B, C, what exactly did you achieve? So you're not telling me what you did. You're telling me what you achieved. Because everybody that works in customer care calls customers. Do you know? Everybody that works in customer care receives complaints. Everybody that works in admin sends emails. Everybody that works in customer care, they can answer calls in good manners. So my question is, what did you do differently while working as a customer care representative? So, that is exactly how to sell yourself. So that is exactly how to sell yourself. So when you're talking about your job experiences, I expect you to talk about your achievements, your accomplishments. You did this and this percentage in your last organization. So don't just talk about the fact that you worked as a bank teller. Everybody works as a bank teller. But you need to be able to express to the recruiter or to the hiring manager, what did you do differently as a bank teller? You currently work as a business development manager. What do you currently do differently as a business development manager? What is the percentage of sales that you've accomplished in your current organization? So you need to be able to sell yourself to whosoever wants to recruit you and not just writing a generic role. Everybody does the same thing that you do. So if I'm going to hire you differently from 10 other people, you need to be able to explain to me why you work in marketing. The other people work in marketing too, but what exactly do you do differently that the other 9 people cannot do? Do we understand? So you need to be able to sell yourself Very well. So there's also the part of your education. I mean, most of us went to university or graduated from university. So when you're writing your education, there's also a part you graduated from, example, Covenant University. You studied accounting. Luckily, if you graduated with a first class, please include it. If you graduated with a third class, please don't include it. And a lot of us also try to include our grade. So the reason you include your grade in your resume is basically if you know that you graduated with something excellent. But when you know that it is not as good as people want to hear, there's no need to include it. I mean, this is because a lot of hiring managers can use it as a discriminative term. So if it is not required, if the job does not say you need to have graduated with 2.1 or 2.2, I mean, first, because of the way our society is structured, people always pay attention to first class and 2.1. I mean, personally for me, I don't feel that is a good metric on grading people. I mean, the reason most companies do that, and the reason a lot of banks do that, and a lot of multinationals do that, is because they really want to cut down on people's application. So because you graduated with a 2.2 does not mean that you are not intelligent. I mean, since the day I've started hiring, I don't think I've ever hired for once based on grade. I mean, I've never asked anybody, what did you graduate with? Because since, now, to students still in university, you need to graduate with a new grade, with a very good grade. But what I'm telling you is that in your resume, if it's not an society acknowledged excellent grade, first class, 2.1, if it's a 2.2, I mean, don't put it. Do we understand? You don't need to put it, except it is required. You get, but if you graduate with the first class, you can flaunt it. With a 2.1, you can flaunt it. If I get your CV and you see that you graduated with a 2.2, I will invite you for an interview. And if you are good, I'll hire you over somebody that graduated with the first class. I mean, that is how it works in the workspace. What people appreciate more is your experience. I mean, I've interviewed people that, chartered accountants, for example, I think last 2 years, while working in consulting, I had people that finished school, graduated in accounting, had a first class, got chartered, and they came for a job interview. And I had somebody who finished with a 2.2, but had a 1-year internship experience, and both of them came for the interview. And the guy with a first class, with a chartered accountant, was speaking good English, telling me about theoretical examples in accounting, all those nice things. And the guy that has finished with a 2.2, with 1-year internship experience, communicated to me about how he had worked in a firm, done internship, prepared balance sheet records. I mean, and at the end of the day, we hired the guy with a 2.2 that had done 1-year internship over the first class guy. Now, don't get me wrong, first class is good, but what would have differentiated the person that finished with the first class and had an icon over the other person would have been the work experience. Do you understand? So work experience is actually good. And this also comes in the place of volunteering. I mean, sometimes jobs don't come to you. You need to go and look for them. And you need to be able to volunteer. I mean, if I look at my experience now, like I said, when I was interning, I used to collect 40K for a year. I mean, and I worked in consulting for during that period also. And I mean, my career growth, when I look at one experience that has helped me through my lifetime, it is that 40K experience for 1 year. You get, I mean, when I was working in that job, I had companies come to me and wanted to hire me 4 or 5 times higher than what I was earning there. But because I knew that I needed that experience to be able to move very fast in my career, I waited. The money was important, but I knew the money would come. Do you understand? So there are points in your career where you would need to wait, get the required experience, then move on. I'm trying not to digress from CV writing also. Then your relevant skills. I mean, I'll talk about this very well. I mean, there's technical skills and there's soft skills. The most important skills on your CV is your technical skills. Everybody says they have team management skills. Everybody says they are a good leader. Everybody says they can communicate. Everybody says they can type. Everybody claims they have good ethics. But the question is, what skills technically do you have that differentiates you from other people? So if you work in marketing, you should have some technical marketing skills that differentiate you from other people. If you work as a software developer, I want to be seeing skills around you're a front-end developer, you use React, you're a back-end developer, you You're a product designer. I want to be seeing things like Figma. I want to be seeing things like Adobe. You're a banker. I want to be seeing technical terms. So we need to understand that in your CV, if all you have is I communicate well, I'm a good leadership person, I know how to type, something is missing. The implication of that is that you do not, your experience is not yet streamlined to a particular skill. So technical skills simply imply those core skills that you require in the job that you currently do. Do we understand? So you need to make sure those technical, and this is also how, I'm sure you guys have heard of ATS, applicant tracking systems. These things are the things that recruiters see when your CV first comes. I mean, there are different types. But also what those application system does is they always try to sieve out the skills, the job description with the skills on your CV. And most of the time, these skills are always technical skills. So for example, if you are applying for an HR job, and HR requires you to be good in recruitment, to be good in performance management, the system will compare those skills in the job description with the skills on your CV. And if the skills don't match, the system is going to advise the recruiter that this person does not match the job. I mean, the recruiter would likely still look at it. But once the skills match with the skills in job description, it's easier for the recruiter to know that this person matches this role. So, like I said again, the most important part of your CV also is your technical skills section. I mean, and if you do not have technical skills, it means that you need to work on your CV. So what technical skills do you have relating to your job? If you're a banker, what technical skills do you have? If you're a salesperson, what technical skills do you have? So we need to make sure these technical skills are included in our CV. Can we have the next slide? Okay, so yes, so there's additional sections. So for example, if you've won an award somewhere, you've volunteered for an organization, you've done something extremely well, that you know that included in your CV will give you upper hand to get the job. You need to include it. You get, I mean, it might just be that volunteering experience that you have that will land you that job. It might be the fact that when you were in university, you volunteered with ISEC, you volunteered with JCI, you volunteer with an NGO. They might just see that and be like, oh, this person has good volunteering and program or project management skills. Let's hire the person. So we need to make sure that you include this important section. I mean, don't include a section that is not important to your CV. Maybe you're a pastor in a church. I mean, I don't want to know that you're a pastor. I don't want to know that you're a pastor. You get, except it is a pastoral job. You get, but I mean, when I was in university, I served in fellowship. And when I was applying for my first job, I had to put my leadership experience in the fellowship. But I did not write it like a spiritual job. I wrote it like a voluntary, like an NGO kind of environment. So, I mean, especially if you're a student, your experience in all those kind of organizations does not waste. But the question is, how do you put it in your CV? You need to put it in such a way that you are talking about your leadership skills. You're talking about how you are able to work on projects. I mean, when I was in the fellowship and I was able to organize Christian seminars, I would say I'm a project manager. I was a project manager for these events. If the recruiter asked me to explain, I would explain that it was a Christian organization. I would not say church. So you need to know how to use your words. If he says it was a church, yes, but you need to know how not to be religious during interviews. I mean, some people will come to interviews and say, "Oh, I was a pastor in my." I mean, you need to be able to know how to communicate and package yourself properly. And also remember, when packaging yourself, I'm not asking you to lie. I'm asking you to know what you know how to do and say it with such good confidence. I mean, this also is important for students that are just graduating, because I mean, most of us do not have the required work experience. So most of the time, the experience that counts for you is probably something you've done at university, a project you volunteered in, the church you've served. But the question is, put it rightly in your resume, like write it like a proper job experience. Then also, I mean, cover letters. I mean, a lot of people also do not take cover letters seriously. And this is why cover letter is important. Cover letter simply tells the recruiter or the hiring manager what is likely not in your CV.
So for example, you have a marketing background or customer service background and you are switching to product management. I mean, your CV just says that for the last 5 years you've been working in customer support, but you are currently applying for a product management role. So what your cover letter is simply going to be stating is, oh, I've worked in customer service for the past 5 years. I've currently taken product management courses for the last 1 year. I've volunteered in a product management organization. That is why I'm going to be a good fit for this role. Do we understand? So basically, your cover letter is not you trying to buttress already what is in your CV. Your cover letter is basically a story. You are telling the hiring manager or the recruiter while the person will be needing you in that organization. So we must be able to sell ourselves using cover letters. I mean, our cover letters is not something bogus. A lot of people have like 6 paragraphs cover letter. I mean, a 3-paragraph cover letter is very easy and simple to do. First, you're introducing yourself. Secondly, you're telling them the value that you'll be adding to them when you join the organization. So we must be able to sell ourselves properly. Then also, I mean, I would also carry on and talk about LinkedIn. I mean, how many of us have LinkedIn profiles here? How many of us have LinkedIn profiles? How many of us don't have LinkedIn profiles? Nice. I mean, so what I advise you, immediately after this session, please open a LinkedIn profile. I mean, in the days of today's day of remote job, the best place to get hired is LinkedIn. Especially, I mean, most recruiters, if anybody is going to hire you from another country, they will not ask you for your CV. They will just check your name. I mean, if you check my name now, check it on LinkedIn, you'll find me. I mean, I did not send you my CV, but you can look at my LinkedIn profile and hire me. When I want to hire students for internships, I go to LinkedIn and I check for students, internships, and I'll find them. So, I mean, that's one of the best ways for you to actually get jobs. And, I mean, when you're having a LinkedIn profile, is have a good profile picture. I don't expect to see your Agbada Sunday Thanksgiving picture as your profile picture on LinkedIn. You need to have a corporate profile picture. I mean, some people have like the Agbada they wore on Sunday. Or, I mean, you are literally talking to an international audience on LinkedIn. So this is not Facebook or Instagram. This is basically a corporate social media space. And like I said, recently, LinkedIn sells better than your CV. You get, so you must actually be very corporate on your LinkedIn profile. Same thing as I talked about having a good profile summary on your CV. It's the same way you also have that summary section on your LinkedIn profile. So you must be able to tell the recruiters or the hiring managers what you currently do. Technical buzzwords, your technical skills. So for example, if I want to hire a marketing manager, if I go on LinkedIn, there are some buzzwords I'm going to be using. I'm going to check, for example, a senior person. I'll look for marketing buzzwords. I mean, I'm not sure I've really hired marketers. So I'll use product management, for example. So if you're a product manager and I want to hire a product manager, first thing I'll go on LinkedIn is check for product manager. I'll look for the technical skills that product managers have. I mean, they use different workflow tools. Some of them use Notion. They use different project management tools. I'll look for those keywords, and it's going to start bringing names of people that have those skills. And I'll just start searching their name and sending them messages. And that's how people get hired. I mean, it's not just by praying. I mean, a lot of us pray to get hired, but you need to do the work. Work on your CV and your LinkedIn profile. Imagine you went to school for 5 years and you need to sell yourself in one document. I mean, if you cannot sell yourself appropriately on your CV and on your LinkedIn profile, your certificate in the university is good as wasted because nobody will buy into your idea. So the question is, how do you sell yourself to somebody in six seconds? That is basically what your CV talks about. Your CV is your marketing tool for your career life. Do you understand? Your CV will speak for you where you are not there. I mean, I can look at your CV and say, oh, this person has 10 years experience in project management. This person is good fit for this. And with that, your whole life changes. You get, so we must know how to write key buzzwords and grow your network, connect with the right people. I mean, before I got my job, I decided to start connecting with hiring managers. I'll connect with HR managers that are not working in Nigeria. I'll connect with senior software developers that are not working in Nigeria. Why? Because I wanted to stop working in Nigeria, but live in Nigeria. I mean, that was my mission. And by the way, I literally accomplished it. You get, so it's like the world is now global. So it's easy for you to, and this is something that you just have to be intentional about. So go on LinkedIn, connect with people, ask questions, send them a message. I mean, but when you send people a message, you must send people a message with sense. A lot of people just send people a message, I want to work with your company, I want to intern with your company. When you're selling messages, you're selling messages with value-intended messages. So when you send me a message, you're sending me a message that you want to intern with my organization, but you're also telling me you want to add value and you want to learn. You're also telling me the skills that you have. If you're a senior person and you're sending somebody a message on LinkedIn, you're not just telling the person that, oh, do you have a job opening? I want to work in your organization. You're telling the person that you have this skill set that can be useful for that person's organization. Do we get? So when you're telling people that you want a job, you're not just begging for a job. You're telling them that you have value and you want to add value to the organization. Do we get? I mean, that's basically how the job markets work. I think I have one more slides and I'll just try to cover it. So basically, this is basically how to scale interviews. I mean, same thing with your CV. I mean, your CV would get you to the interview. You get? I mean, you can lie on your CV and you get to the interview. But the question is, when you get to the interview, your CV will not save you. It is you that will save yourself. So, I mean, these are technical, basic job interview processes that we all know. I mean, you need to know about the company. You need to research. I mean, when a company wants to hire you, I mean, if Sterling Bank wants to hire you, for example, if Sterling Bank wants to hire me, for example, today, I mean, I don't like working in the bank, but just in case Sterling Bank decides to hire me, and they want to hire me, the first thing I'm going to do is go to LinkedIn, look out for the head of HR, look out for technical recruiters in Sterling Bank, because they are the ones that are going to do my interview. The idea is I'm going to go and look at their profile, look at where they work. It gives me a perception of the kind of questions they are going to ask me. And when you also have that first connection with them, I mean, when I see them in the interview, I'm not surprised because I've already looked them out and I already have a little bit of confidence. And when I do interviews also, and I see somebody that has worked in a company for 5 years that just moved to another bank, I would also ask you questions about yourself. So as you're asking me questions on my CV, I'm asking you questions back. Oh, I noticed you worked in Sterling Bank for 5 years. You currently work in Access. Oh, can you just tell me the reason why you moved, since you want me to work with Access Bank now? So I'm asking you questions too, the way you want to ask me. But I'm asking you intelligent questions. So you need to ask people intelligent questions during the interview process. And have a mock interview preparation for yourself. Look at the mirror, prepare. Tell your sister, your brother, your fiance, your husband to interview you before the interview date. It helps with confidence. And also write, there's always the question of tell me about yourself. Be composed about it. Understand how you're going to express yourself. And something about interviews that story sells. I don't want you to just be telling me one more words. I worked here for 5 years. You must be able to bring a story into it. I'll remember you after the interview because of the way you communicate with me. You get? So you need to be able to sell yourself so that after you are gone, the interviewer would always be remember, oh, this person, we need to hire this person. Tolu was very awesome during the interview. Tope was very nice. She asked a very brainstorming question. She's going to be a very good addition to our team. You get? You need to say something that is extremely striking. Then, avoid lateness, dress well. And this also works for remote interviews. If you're in your house and you're interviewing, dress well. These days, people, I've interviewed a lot of people that they just wear t-shirts, comb their hair. And, no. You need to be appropriate. Interview is interview. I'm not asking you to wear tie, but at least, a lot of people just wake up from bed, watch their face on their Zoom interview. Yeah, it's not like that. You need to be prepared. You get? Job changes people's life. If you want a job to change your life, you also need to be prepared for that job. Then, you need to be confident and show clarity.
know what you know your onions, and set it correctly. If you don't know what you know in your interview, you'll be stammering. When they are telling you what have you accomplished before, you would just be lost. And you need to know how to communicate in a very simple manner. Don't say bogus words. I mean, communicate clearly. You don't need to sell yourself more than you are. I mean, be humble and sell yourself in what you know. And don't be scared to ask questions. I mean, most of the time when I interview people, or when hiring managers interview people, what keeps a lasting impression is the kind of questions you ask. I will remember you for the kind of questions you ask. You get, I mean, a lot of times you might say you do not have questions, but have a question prepared before the interview. That way you will have a question. It can be one or it can be two. I mean, just ask it. I mean, there are sometimes I've had interviews and I've asked questions and the interviewer just starts laughing like, oh, are you the interviewer or I'm the one? I mean, it just strikes that balance. And with that, they won't forget me. Even if they don't want to hire me, when they are talking about the candidates they want to move to the next round, my name will pop up. You get? So you need to also make sure you leave a lasting impression. And also, don't be scared to send a follow-up mail. A lot of times, let me tell you, it also happens that people forget you in the pipeline. You get, I mean, a lot of interviewers or recruiters can have 1,000 candidates, do 50 interviews, and they just forget you sometimes. So I know some people always say people don't get back to them after doing interviews. There's nothing wrong in sending a follow-up email. I mean, send a follow-up email, ask question, oh, why was I not able to move to the second round? Am I still going to be considered for a second round? If necessary, send a thank you email. I mean, I'm not saying you send a thank you email to cajole the recruiter or the hiring manager to interview you, but you could always send a thank you email to appreciate. This is more appreciated outside Nigeria, by the way. A lot of Nigerian companies always take this in a different light, that maybe you are trying to cajole for the job, but if you are in a very structured environment, after an interview, you could always send a thank you email. After a last stage interview, you could always send a thank you email to follow up with the job. I mean, in all of this, there's one word I would always like people to always have is, I mean, outside of your CV, outside of interview process, your communication skills is extremely important. How you communicate during an interview is literally how you are going to be perceived. People will take you for who you are, not just how you talk, but your body language. I mean, if you're in an interview and you are seeming like somebody that is lost, I mean, I'll look at you like somebody that is not interested in this job. If you're in an interview and you're giving me one answer, like, what is wrong with you? So you need to actually be prepared. I mean, I'm sure you've heard the saying before that says that looking for a job is an actual job on its own. If you want to get a job, you actually have to do the dirty work of preparing for a job. Even as, I mean, little experience as I am, every time I have a job interview, I read. Like I read. I know it all, but I go back to read again. That's because you might eventually not get hired, but you might get a referral. I mean, there are a lot of companies that will not be able to hire you, but what they can do is refer you to a sister company or keep your profile and get back to you. So no matter the kind of interview process you are having, make sure that you are prepared. You sell yourself in the best possible manner and package yourself in the right light. Even if you don't get a job now, it's always a process for you to get a job in the future. Thank you so much. I think I've...
Sorry, please, can we put our hands together? That was such a powerful session. Am I right to assume that they can bring their CV to you? If you would like to give him your CV for him to review for you. We're getting into the career fair mood now, so if you have your CV printed, you can just see him for him to review it. So please, can you put your hands together once again for him? Thank you very much, sir. So we're moving on to the career fair. We have them over here. You can just walk up to them, ask questions. Please, everybody, I'm really encouraging us, try and get up. Don't sit down. There's no point. You didn't come here to be big girls and big boys. So, just get up, walk there, ask questions, talk to people around, ask questions. You can walk up to the panelists, ask questions. You can walk up to him. You can walk up to Pastor Tolu as well. So career fair people, you can move around, ask questions, and get ready for a beautiful career ahead. Hopefully this will open doors, bigger doors for every one of us. Thank you. So we are pretty much having the career fair until, we come here to say, let's come back together and let's close. So you have all the time until we come out to announce that you should stop. See, people are already sitting down again. People are sitting down. People are sitting down. Let's stand up, people. I never see you think with it.
Yeah? I don't think. General question, like. No. You can walk up to them. General. No. You can just walk up to them for personal.
Is it on? Okay, so some people are confused. When I said that career fair, I mean we can actually walk up to them. Those people that are set up over there, you can walk up to them and ask questions.
If you want to leave, of course you can leave.
I'm wondering if we are going to buy the popcorn that is on their table, but I can ask.
Hello, Mom.
Hi. I was attracted by the popcorn. What can I do to get one? Well, you see, I'm an official. I didn't know that we were going to submit CV. Sorry, I'm very sorry.
Hello. Good afternoon. Are we giving children packs?
My name is Esther. I'm an official, but well, who say that official cannot find work? So what roles do you guys recruit for? Do you guys recruit for social media managers, content writers? Yeah. Okay. I'm not with my CV because I came to do MC work. I didn't know. I wasn't aware. So, but is there like a mail or something? What is your rate card? Wow. Your hotel money is plenty. Ah. Okay, but it's fancy. For a job position? Or it's just to secure? No. Thank you very much. I'll... Ah, what a wow. What's this? But I think it will not be a bad idea to still send a message to them and say, oh, exactly. Ah, don't do that. You can actually ask now. I can ask now? Yes. Are you not on strike? Yeah. So technically, you're not in school. I'm trying to decide on which, but I've touched everything. I apologize. I'm taking this one. It's fancy, touchlight and Kyoda. So thank you. This man, how's ASU strike treating you?
Me? I never bother again. I'm learning other stuff.
You're moving on with your life, I'm telling you.
Yeah, I moved to as I learn
You're going to know everything about like branding because like you already do graphics. Then you are here. Okay.
Down the product design.
Yeah.
It's actually easy to transition from graphic design because it's similar.
Yeah.
And it's just try.
Amazing. Amazing stuff. I don't know why ASU keeps doing this, but like, you guys are moving. You get me. I did so many things with all the strikes I faced. One strike, I learned how to drive. Another strike, I taught in a school. That strike was one of the most useless ones. But teaching is not so bad. Then the strikes have still been useful for me. But I'm happy I'm not a part of this one, man. I'm happy. No, it's enough. It's enough, man. I may have cried if I was part of this strike because I had plans. And you just have slowed down a lot of things for me, man.
It is, because afterwards now, people be saying you necessarily of a certain age.
It's also amount of experience. That thing is very annoying, actually. It is annoying, actually. I can't even begin to imagine. Me, I'm here to secure a social media managing role. Forget that I'm MC. I'm looking for side hustle. So.
Requires either a degree, a number of years of experience.
Should do.
And also your location. Also just asking so like whether you're asking for bachelor's degree, asking for to work full time in Lagos, Port Harcourt, Calabar, somewhere far.
That's true. That's true. Even me that I graduated, I don't have a statement of results because they went on strike. I asked this lady, she said like they're still recruiting for social media managers. I'm like, I'm going to send, yeah, this is my Ghana people. So I'm going to send them a mail and see what they say. Just me, I don't win souvenir now. Normal level. From Mahogany.
Mahogany, they get like. Mahogany is not hiring.
Mahogany is not hiring.
Who said? So why do you not?
No, he said that they are not hiring interior designers. How are you taking word from somebody that is not?
They're not looking for interior designer.
Yeah.
They are looking for graphic designer. I'll do better than that. That's what I'm saying. I know the guy that did that. I used to work there.
So yeah, Dave, let's go. Dave, I'm fighting for you. Let's go. So you send money for some later. Get a job. Dave, you don't need it. Go another graduate. Just go. Do what you have. Me, my job is not here. Motivation. Let me give you motivation. Dave, let's go. Just
Why you dey waka like this? If you want to go for it, go for it. Hello. Good afternoon. Just pretend like I'm not wearing a tag.
Alright, so welcome to the Fieldhouse stand.
Thank you.
Would you be interested in any one cinema brand showcase movies across all platforms that we have?
Okay.
People are interested in the fast-paced environment. Are you interested in joining us? Or what exactly is your plan?
Okay, so I have a job, yeah, but this Nigeria. One road cannot enter the market. So I work on this side as like for voiceovers and social media managing and content creation. So I work with some brands like remotely. So yeah, those are the kind of things I'm looking out for.
That's awesome. So there's still openings for that as well because I mean we still have like voiceover for our film one production team, right?
Okay.
So there's always room for that voiceover influencing for our marketing, kind of our marketing campaign, creating awareness for our brand. So that's definitely an open road for us. So you don't
Okay.
have to see.
Well, you see, I came to MC. I wasn't told
But that's fine. You can
to come along with my CV.
jobs at Fieldhouse NG.
Okay. So the voiceover, I'm looking at like different languages. I do voiceovers for Pidgin, Yoruba, English, and Igbo. So
Because we have cinemas across, Ibadan, we have in Kano, so there's that whole language barrier thing. We have the conversation. I mean, we're open up to that. Also, so you have to do for us, you could also send me a link to like the work we have done.
Okay, yes,
That way
amazing.
we can listen to that and like, okay, this is someone who fits into what our plan is, our strategy. I mean, we're open to having like doing a side business or like a side gig for you.
Okay.
We're open up to that, right?
Thanks.
So thank you for coming.
Ooh, okay. It's a good day. Thank you very much. See, I'm wearing a tag, but I seem to be doing more than these people that are not wearing tags. So I think I should stop here before I win all the souvenirs.
Oh, wow.
And go home with them all. So these people are looking for creatives.
Yeah.
Yeah, swim house. All of that. And they are even, it is so obvious they are looking for because they're the only ones with a flyer that has a job mail directly. I think you should send a message. So they say you can attach like links of what you do. It's remotely, so nobody cares if you are an undergraduate or a graduate or a yeah, walk up to them so you can at least get a package. Do that, tell them like you get it's fair. Is it actually popcorn that is inside?
Yeah, probably.
Okay. I think I should stop now.
Good afternoon.
Yeah. I want to ask a question.
Okay.
I know it might not be time but at least we should still have an idea about
Okay.
it. In a situation whereby, like, I guess when you get talking, there's a career improvement guy. But in a situation whereby, like, there are some things that society actually puts in us, like, and me, I grew up with the fact that a Christian, like a church person, per se, it's not appropriate to work in an hotel, like all these, like we see hotel as this prostitution now.
Yeah, I get that.
So what's actually your view, what you think about it? Because and now that I'm don't know, I can
Decide if you want to, yeah.
Okay, and now, although I just located Ibadan, this is my first time of just eating for my parents. And I don't want you to look as though because you no longer work, so you decided to be something. But sometimes I still see that because I do unseen job. So I try to tell them, like, why do unseen job? So what's the big deal working at the top? I don't tell you that, no, hotel is fine. I'm like, no, but sometimes if I go for seminars, I log in the hotel. Does that mean I went there for? So what's your take, what's your advice for someone that probably they want to get but she just located and trying to
You need to take a job, yeah.
and what if you are getting an offer from an hotel? What do you think about the is it because you're not in church then you don't like that you're working at an
Okay. So I've always been a big believer of conviction. No matter what the word says a Christian should do or a Christian should not do, they are not the ones who determine. My relationship with God will determine. So I work in media and entertainment and I'm a Christian. So before I got in, I shared a testimony on my WhatsApp status the other day that I was very scared because media and entertainment is a scary world, you know. I know what broadcasters do and all of that, so I was very worried. But at the end of the day, I went to God and I'm like, this is my dream, this is what I want to do. Let me know if you want me to go ahead. And as soon as I had conviction in my spirit, I went for it. God factor, yes. Once you get in, I think at the end of the day, you will be the one to determine what your stay will be like. You discipline yourself. So if you take a job in a hotel, for example, as an attendant, as a salesperson, as a marketer, you know what you are there for. People around will say that, somebody has told me before that women who have the fear of God don't survive in media. I told them that's their business. I will do what I want to do here. You can tell me whatever I want. When he invites me for parties or hangouts that I can't attend, I tell them I can't attend. It doesn't go with my faith. They're like, you can't go far away. That's your business. You're not the one who puts me here. My going far is not dependent on you. So if you are convicted to go for it, please go for it. Like, it doesn't matter. Convincing them at home or tell them, may I tell my dad when I wanted to go into media, are you ready to pay me every month? I'll be surviving on your pockets. If you can do that for me, no problem. But they can't. Although even giving me money will not sort out my dreams. But are you ready if I need help? If I call you that I need 50K, can you send it? Even though it does not mean that my salary is just 50K, I'll just tell them that. Do you get? Let them, and then tell them that I've already moved away from you. I'm already here. I have to cater for myself, and I know what's best for me. And you've trained me. Do you think I will leave all the training simply because? Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's what I think. It's conviction. But if your heart is not convinced, maybe you shouldn't be going for it. Have I been able to answer your question? Okay. You're very welcome.
call people back for the closing remarks. Or where do you sit?
I don't know.
Because I know you are already log off. It's in log off.
No, I did for you, no man.
Log off. Me, I don't log off. I did outside.
Sorry. You didn't do waiting. Where you dey log off? Go. I have popcorn. They gave me as well. Where you dey log off? Go. Don't log off. You are my boss here. Wait. Sorry. So, who is doing the closing remark? Because don't do maybe you. I should not go there. Thank you very much. Yes, FM. It started in February. Yes, which means the work is more. Yeah. No, yes, FM.